Hello, everyone. Welcome to our reading today. We are using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. Um, this is a Tori Hartman deck. I know there's bigger ones. These are a smaller version, but there's bigger ones too. But I don't have the bigger ones. I just have the smaller version. So I hope everybody is doing great. I hope you're having a great end of the year. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your comments and your likes and sharing of the videos. It's so nice to hear the feedbacks in the comments because it just helps me to know how the readings are resonating. So I hope everybody is doing great. Let me just show you what this deck looks like in case you have never seen it before. I do know that there are bigger cards. This is the smaller deck, but I know that they come in bigger ones. I've seen people use like a bigger deck expansion. So, but I just want to show you what it looks like. Um, just it only has one word. So if you're a beginner, it could still work for you. You just might have to sit with the card a little bit longer. But feel free to bring your cards with you to the readings if you have cards. I know some of my um, people that watch message me and told me that they're beginners in doing readings. So if you're a beginner and you have a deck of cards or you're using an app on your cell phone, feel free to use it and share in the comments if you want to what you get. So this is a collective reading. So we're just going to take a look and see, what's your guidance for today? Uh, what are you not aware of, not seeing, or overseeing? So let's take a look. So we have perfection. Okay, so this card, the message I have coming in is see how the person is like looking up, like they're trying to get approval from somebody else, like they're trying to be perfect for someone else. So this is reminding you that no one is perfect. And if you're constantly seeking validation from somebody else to be perfect, you're constantly going to be seeking that validation for something constantly because when we are trying to be perfect for somebody else, we are not accepting who we truly are inside. Okay. There's no such thing as being perfect because there's always something that can be done. And that's how we continue to grow. So, this is reminding you that we live in a world where we're constantly being judged to be like this perfect person or this perfect image or this perfect being. And we're constantly looking up, maybe even as a child we might have looked up to our parents trying to be perfect so that we could get their approval or keep the peace or follow in the footsteps that they had already set for us, kind of thing, right? But this card is reminding you that uh, there's there is an unsatisfied energy inside of you when you are trying to be perfect. You ultimately in the end are causing like an emotional um, disappointment in yourself trying to be perfect. Yes, you can make something that is perfect, but overall it doesn't mean that you overall are perfect. So this is reminding you that yes, the grapes can be perfect, right? You can pick perfect grapes, everything's perfect. That doesn't mean that the plant itself doesn't have flaws, right? So you're just being reminded in this card that regardless of what you're striving for, love yourself for who you are. Okay, if something happens and it's not perfect and it's not the way you want it, accept that. Accept that it's okay, that at least you tried, at least you gave it your best, at least you put your foot forward and you stepped into it. Okay, nothing is going to make you less of who you truly are by not being perfect is what your message is. You're being told to pray about this situation. Okay, this is a situation where If you look at the card, there's a big difference between things, right? One's a city, one's a country, complete opposites. Okay, one's a busy life, one's a calm life. One's a busy surrounding, one's a calm surrounding. One's in touch with material things, one's in touch with nature. So whatever your situation is, life is giving you lemonades, make make or life is giving you lemons, make lemonade. You know how that saying is. If life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You got to try to find the balance in the situation. Okay, there's good and bad for every situation, right? There's good and bad in both of these. Okay, so that when you live in nature, for example, the bad thing is that there's nothing convenient. Usually when you live in nature, you have to travel to get whatever you need, and you have to make things work when you don't have the accessibility to certain things, right? But in the city, you might have the accessibility, but it might be crowded, it might be more expensive, it might be um, more demanding, right? So this is telling you to pray about the situation, pray over the situation, and and trust. Trust that everything is going to work out, right? Whatever you're getting in a sour, whatever sour energy you're pulling in, trust that you have the ability to turn that into something positive. Okay, you have the ability to take whatever this is and make it something great. Okay, so just keep praying, keep moving forward, keep trusting the universe. Prayer is all about trusting a higher source, trusting the creator that made you to help you. Okay, so that has a lot to do with prayer. And when we look at the perfection card, we kind of have these two choices, right? She's got these two choices, but she's not really seeing the third one. So for this one here, she's looking up like she's praying as well, like she's looking up in like a what do I do kind of, waiting for like a um, waiting for like a download or something coming in, right? So this card kind of relates a lot to this card. If you're trying to create something and it's not quite working, try not to make it try not to see the perfectness in what the situation has to be. A lot of times, what we see as perfect, somebody else sees as not perfect, right? And then sometimes what we see as a disaster, somebody else will love it, right? You see that a lot when it comes to like people that create things. Somebody might look at it and be like, "That's terrible," and somebody else might be like, "Oh my God, I'll give you $100 for that," right? So you are being guided to see the truth in the situation and to trust the situation, okay? And try not to read too much into your situation. Allow a lot of these things to play out for you. There might be some decision makings that you have to make, but it looks like everything's going to work out because whatever is coming your way, you're able to transform it as long as you don't try to make it like perfect, perfect, okay? Because neither one of these are perfect. There's flaws in both of these, there's beauty in both of these, right? But neither one of these are perfect. So, what you have to do is take what you don't like, turn it into something that you do, and accept that some things are just not as perfect as you want them to be or as you're trying to make them be, but they're still magical, right? There's still value in them. And then you have creation, which is reminding you that everything around us is a part of the great creator, okay? Everything in our environment is from a higher uh, being, a higher source that is able to put things into action, right? That is able to think and create and make things um, be. So you are being guided to do the same. Like inside of you, in your mind, in your heart, in in your abilities, there are many things that you can create, but you have to have faith in what you're trying to create. Okay, you have to believe that you have the ability to create the things that you're wanting to go after. If you're trying to create something, but you're not truly believing in yourself, or you're trying to create something, but you want it to be perfect, then you're not truly relaxed. You're not truly just being in your authentic energy, right? Ask any artist. Any artist will tell you. Sometimes you just gotta go with it. You just gotta trust it. You just gotta love what you're doing and have that um, that energy of just flow, right? If you're trying to create, but you want it to be perfect, as there's going to be flaws, and sometimes those flaws are what makes it perfect for somebody else, makes it perfect for someone who ends up, benefiting from whatever it is that you're creating, right? Those flaws, those things that you see as flaws and imperfections can be somebody else's perfectness, right? They might be exactly what they're looking for, right? So you're being guided on your journey to just allow things to unfold naturally, right? Try not to control the situation. Try not to worry and stress over what you can and can't control, and just allow things to unfold. Okay, you have compliance. So, compliancy is all about acceptance, right? It's all about giving in instead of trying to control the situation. You are allowing things to unfold gracefully. You're allowing things to unfold without having to know the end results. Okay, we often try so hard to know the end results, and the end results can be something that we have never even thought about, right? So we're stressing over something that can end up being completely um, different than what we anticipated, right? So if you're stressing over this situation, how it's going to work out, how this, and then you might find out down the road that it's the best. It just folds out on its own in the most amazing way, right? So compliancy is reminding you that if you want the universe to help you, you can't fight with it, right? If you're asking and praying for support and guidance, then you can't be resistant. And if you're trying to work with the universe to create something for you, then you can't look at the perfectionist in it, because you're always going to find flaws and you're never going to want to move forward, right? And that's going to hold you back. That's going to make things hard for the universe to support you in the way that it needs to and wants to, if you're constantly like judging everything, right? So yeah, we already talked about this. See how we said balance, right? And the universe is going to bring balance into this situation. There's going to be unhappy people because of it. People that's not going to want to see certain things play out the way that they do. But the universe doesn't doesn't work for other people's happiness when it's working for yours. Okay, it works for an overall balance. So some things might not be happy for some people, but it's okay, because it'll work out in their world, in their time, in their situation. Like, it'll work out, but sometimes you can't make everybody happy, right? In order to bring balance into your life, there might be unhappy situations. If you try to make everybody happy in your life, then your life itself will probably be unbalanced, because you're working so hard to be a people pleaser, right? So the universe is reminding you that it is trying to work on balance in your life. It is trying to help you with this balance in your life. But unfortunately, there's going to be unhappy people, and that's just something that you have got to accept. You've got to allow, and you've got to let it go. Just trust that these unhappy people will find their happiness, right? They'll find their happiness. Um, Perseverance, yes. You just got to keep going. You got to keep going with it, right? You have to trust that whatever is unfolding is your purpose, your path, and it's for you, right? And it may not be an easy path. Not all of us have this like easy path that, it's great whenever it is easy. That's awesome. But for a lot of us, it's a rocky path. Like, it's very unsecure. You don't know what's going to happen. It's very, wishy-washy. That's just the universe requiring you to have even more faith and more trust that things are going to work out, right? So when when it's harder, you have to dig deeper into your inner faith and into your heart chakra, in your heart, knowing that things are going to work out if you stay on course. Okay, so vanity. This one is reminding you that the outside world, the outside image is just vanity, right? You really got to go deep with this message that you're receiving. You got to realize that there's a lot of people out there putting on a lot of fake energy, a lot of mask, right? These people here, they don't always um, they don't always show up authentic, right? They show up as they're expected to. They show up to win over somebody. They show up to appear as something. Okay, so this is reminding you that uh, don't buy into what you see with your eyes. Take time to open your eyes through your heart and see the truth of the situation. Okay? It's not about the material things, it's not about the image. It's much, much deeper. And this card is reminding you that you really need to go much deeper with this message. All right? I don't know who this is for, but the universe is definitely asking you to see beyond the surface of things. I feel like you're trying, like, I feel like in this message you're trying so hard to um to be expectations of what others want you to be, or to be this surface energy of, appearing as if everything is perfect and everything's great and everything's fine, and um and the universe is telling you that you need to just be yourself. You need to just step back and just allow the universe to take this situation and unfold it for you. And you need to take time to really see the situation as it truly, truly is, right? Not as the surface level thing. There's more to it than just what you're seeing. And for some of you, it could be that you need to see the situation deeper. Maybe you're hiding things underneath your emotions, your hearts, and you're trying to work on a surface level because you're trying to avoid the truth of what you really need to look at underneath of it all. Okay, so this is a deep message on coming back to your heart, allowing yourself to truly, truly be in the true energy of what's really going on, to love yourself for who you are instead of trying to be something that you're not, and don't try to be a people pleaser. This is definitely telling you that being a people pleaser is really throwing off the wrong energy for your path in your life. If you want something on this path, it's going to require you to be authentic. So if you're over here being a people pleaser and trying to be perfect and trying to be this image, you're not going to go in this direction because you're fighting it, because you're trying to do something that isn't aligned with who you truly are. So that's what this message is really asking you to do, is to truly align with your real heart energy. Okay, truly connect with yourself. So looking at our charms, we have um, a horse. Okay, butterfly, transformation, death. Okay, transformation, death, handmade. Yeah, see, over creation. Heart, energy, love, angel, and fish. Okay, so a fish out of water. Exactly. You're trying to be a fish out of water. If you're trying to be something that you're not, you're basically like a fish out of water. It's just you're gonna struggle. You have to let some things die in order to let the rebirth take place. Okay, there is a transformation that wants to happen here, but this transformation has to come from your heart. It has to come from love, and it has to be authentic, handmade. It has to be authentic. Okay, this situation, it can't be faked, Whatever it is, it cannot be faked. And whatever it is, some things have to go in order for other things to fall into place. You have to see the truth in the situation instead of masking it or wanting to see things a certain way. You got to see the truth in the situation because that is what allows you to move forward. That is what allows you to be successful in this situation that you are in. Okay. So you got to allow your angels to come in and help you. You know, you got to get out of your own way. Basically, you have to get out of your own way in this situation. Do I think that it can definitely take off in the right direction? I think very quickly. I think honestly, it'll take off very quickly in the right direction as soon as you acknowledge the truth of what is going on. As soon as you realize, um, as soon as you realize what you need to realize, so that you can allow the energy to change in your heart and change in your mind, and as soon as you allow things, as soon as you let go of certain things, certain people, I think you're going to see all of this shift very quickly. And just remember, just because things shift doesn't mean that it's the end of certain situations. I know some people just don't want to let go of certain situations, and sometimes you have to, because that person or that situation, they have to go on their journey. And sometimes the journeys do come back around together. You know, sometimes they do one of these, like, reconnection things. But if you're over here, then you're not, it's not working out to come back here. So just be aware that sometimes you got to let go and just let the universe, God, source, have this control over the situation with other individuals and other things that need to play out. And just have faith that if it's meant to be, it will come back to you, right? It'll work its way out. Things will work its way out, okay? But trying to control the situation or not working on yourself, not loving yourself to your full potential is not helping the situation. It's not going to get the situation to where you need it to be in a stable way. Okay, it's just going to keep, you're just going to have these ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And there's going to be resistance, and there's going to be things that's going to aggravate you because the transformation, you're not letting things die out to bring the transformation in. Okay, so my guidance to you is to take some time with these cards, take some time with yourself, take some time with this situation, and allow yourself to, your heart already knows the whole situation. Allow your heart to let your mind know the truth in the situation, and then ask the universe, how can I move forward from this? What are my next steps? Okay, how can you help me to release whatever needs to be released so that I can do what needs to be done correctly, right? Okay, I hope this has helped you so much. Thank you for tuning in and being here, and I wish you all the very best. You got this, okay? Bye.